Let's go to the pillars. What are the foundational pillars of Ayurveda for people who are completely unfamiliar with it?
Ayurveda is a science of life. So it's a different ways so Ayurveda is not just you come here, I take your pulse, I tell you eat these foods. It has many, many branches. And like when I started, I said, what do you do Ayurveda? And people have no idea. Like now a lot of people understand what and have heard the word Ayurveda. 33 years ago, no one like it was like what weird thing I'm doing. Even yoga, it was part. So and the reason why I'm talking about this is because yoga is a branch or a limb of Ayurveda. Yeah. So that's one of the ways of working with your body to balance your body and skeletal and muscle and even mind, because yoga is just union with God. Yeah. Then when you do the part of what you come and do the panchakarma here, and then we do all the different treatments to be able to detox the body, because we are exposed to so many, especially now with so many toxins, and especially right now after the fires, for example, here in Los Angeles, is so toxic. What is, and I don't know if you guys have walked down by Long Beach or whatever the beach, all the Santa Monica is sod and black, and there is so many lion seals. And yesterday or 2 days ago, one of 22 foot whale just died. And I think it's from all these toxins that we're being exposed every day. So, what all these toxins comes inside your body is very important to do a cleanse, and that's what Ayurveda recommends to do the Panchakarma, and that's what I was studying in MIU. My main part of branch of Ayurveda, I was studying Panchakarma and how to clean the body, how to take the detox, and how to really make people connect to their body and to the internal soul and see how they feel. Then there is the Jyotish, which is the astrology, which is very beautiful because they do it according to the planets and then when you were born. And then, so for example, the jewelry that I wear. So this was my first yellow sapphire, and this literally changed my life. It was amazing what it is change, completely changed my life. And this was one of the ones that after I put it, then I found Ayurveda. For example, then time goes by, and then now I said, no, now Mars is more influenced in your life, so you need to have a coral. So then I have a coral, and then it's so beautiful how all this jewelry that I wear is all connected to my chart on who I am and where I was born, and how when you put it on, then what do you do, and then you do the mantras, and then you put it the time, then you put the ring in milk, and there's all these beautiful rituals that make your life so much rich and so much easier if you actually understand it when you were born, and how these things can make your life easier. So Jyotish, Vastu, which is very similar to Feng Shui, is in a way of knowing where the kitchen is, where the bathroom, where the bathrooms, where the water, where the sun, where if the sun, faces your the front of your house is actually, or your business is really actually is going to be very successful, better than if it's in the north or in the south. So all these little things, they are like really amazing. Then we have the Gandharva music. So I'm being very happy because lately I've been hearing more people interested and kind of starting to be in the media talking about Ayurveda, Gandharva Veda, which is like literally the way Maharishi described it. It was like the strings of the nervous system, because when that music goes, and then the way it affects the nervous system is incredible. There is a melody called the rain melody that actually I put a lot during the fires because it's supposed to bring rain. So having all those different tools in Ayurveda, that if you actually put them all and apply into your life is so much complete and easy to go on everyday life.
Oh my gosh, I'm so fascinated. I did not know Ayurveda was so multifaceted. I'm like, now I want to know how my house is positioned and where the sun is and what jewels do I need to wear. I mean, I'm all in. I love all this. And the one thing that I feel like people are maybe more familiar with are the doshas. They've at least I've heard like vata, pitta, and kapha. I'm not familiar with exactly what they are, but maybe you can share what those three are, why does it matter? So anyone who's listening in can maybe see where they fall into.
The vata is so beautiful. It's like we have to think about the body has the five elements: fire, earth, water, ether, and space. Yeah. So we're constituted of them, and then we are born when we are just actually just started your life. There is you're gonna you're when since that moment you decide, okay, you're gonna do you're gonna be vata pitta or pitta vata or vata kapha, or depends. So just it depends of whatever is happening or what actually the state of your parents, which is very very important too. Is when people come here, I tell the clients that if they're going to have want to make a baby, to be balanced. So the egg and the sperm that is coming is balanced to make a balanced human being. So I've done so many of those panchakarmas on parents that actually prepare themselves since conception, which is really beautiful. So I'm to not go out of out of topic. So the vata is the part of that makes everything that's moving in the body, the air part of the body. So what that means when it's out of balance, then when I like I said to you, when I was learning to meditate, my mind was going, I was feeling dizzy. That means there's too much air, too much moving in my body. I need more kapha, more something that is going to make me more grounded. So at that point, and then also like, and then you change your food, things are more warm. So like if you feel cold, you're going to put a sweater, so you're going to be warmer. So it's exactly the same thing. You have too much air. So there is insomnia, there is hard to gain weight, you're feeling cold. So that's the vata, and that's how it's manifested in the body. And there's many ways to balance it. And then the pitta. The pitta is the fire part of the fire and the water part of the body. So the fire is like when you are really like annoyed, like things are really irritating you, like your skin flares up, then you get rashes, then you get acidity, gastritis. That was something that is also was happening to me before I learned Ayurveda, because I was drinking alcohol, smoking cigarettes, drinking coffee every day, and being from Colombia, they would bring you coffee all the time, and how all that aggravated my pitta, end up almost getting an ulcer. And then when I learned Ayurveda and brought all my pitta down, all that went away. Then the kapha part, which is the part, so it is more of grounding. So the people that are kapha people, they are very smart, they are very um, methodic in the way they do it. They like to read, they are not like all over the place, they are very grounded. So you have all these things in your body, and one of them is manifested in because you're not eating the right food, or you are not taking care of the right way. So then it gets out of balance. So that's why when I made all my products, like the Bata, the Pitta, and the Kapha oils, I thought about, okay, so the Bata, so people are understanding, I wanted to make it be more understand, so it's going to be more calming. So Bata, calming. Pitta, fire. So I need something that is going to cool me down. And Kapha is something that is more grounding. So that was I wanted to make Ayurveda in a way that it was more easy to understand. So I use these words so people don't get so confused, and they go like, okay, I wake up today, how I feel. Oh, I feel like I'm going 100 miles per hour. I feel dizzy. So I'm going to use more my calming Vata oil. And then, or last night, I went and play or watch a very aggressive movie, and I feel aggravated, or my period is coming. So that could be also a reason why I get my pitta, the fire aggravates before the period. And then, so I'm going to do something that is more cooling. And also the seasons. There are seasons where there's colder and then it's hotter. And then if I feel like so like lethargic and my metabolism not working, and then I'm gonna do something more kapha, something that is gonna be like more fiery. So I'm like having something with that is like with pepper, for example, or ginger, that is gonna move that. Like for example, kapha. So it's much easier for people to understand. When you get a cold, you get a lot of mucus. That's kapha. It makes you feel like lethargic. So what you take a little bit of ginger tea, and then the ginger immediately, or you take a little bit something that is a little bit spicy. Like when you eat something that is spicy, your nose immediately open. Yeah. So immediately you can breathe. So that is the heat melting the kapha, and then so you are able to breathe better.
That's so fascinating because it almost sounds like you're saying that we can change almost on a day-to-day basis in terms of what is predominantly showing up for us, whether it be kapha or pitta or vata. So when people say like, "Oh, I'm vata," are they talking about more of their baseline that they come back to, or should we be thinking it more about I can be any one of those things depending on where I am in my cycle or where I am in life?
Yeah, so it's more what is the core of it. You're like, I am vata pitta, that's my core of it. Yeah. But let's say I went through menopause, my pitta, because the hot flashes and the heat comes in the body, then my pitta is gonna be up. So I'm gonna have to do things that are gonna cool down so my body can balance and don't feel the changes of menopause. And the same is with everything, you know?
Yeah, that's so interesting. And, so many people in our audience are dealing with hormonal imbalances. I know you mentioned when you were going through menopause, but whether it's PCOS or bad periods or infertility, I know you see so many women across like every facet of life. So I'm curious, what is your perspective around these kind of hormonal imbalances and the Ayurvedic approach to it?
It's a very interesting thing for me because it's a thing that I battle every day, and in a ways it makes me very sad of the pharma and not educating really people and really kids, because there's kids 15, 14, 15, and now even girls get the period between 10, 9, 11, and when you get your period, sometimes you get some pimples, and that's just the changes of the hormones, and that's a normal thing that happens to the body, and it's okay that it happens to the body. That this thing of pretending that I have to have a perfect skin all even through that, so then let's just give them some really not good medicines that are good for the liver that is going to make your skin better. Yes, and the teenagers, they get happy because they don't get all the breaking down of the skin. But what it does is suppresses this and actually damages the liver. So then when you get 30 years old, it comes back again. And then they will have to do that again. Or some people don't, but then they have already a problem that has been created in the liver because of that reason. When I went through menopause, I go to my gynecologist every year to just check, make sure that everything is fine. And so I was offered to have some hormones. And having an experience of my mother-in-law when she got to her menopause, and knowing the things I know about Ayurveda, and knowing that there's so beautiful herbs in there that it will help you go through it without having to put all these things in your body. And especially in her time, that it was when they were doing a lot of the hormones were getting out of the horse urine. So it was the hormones, actually the cells were like not good for our bodies, and it was creating some problems that they were found later. And I beg her, I said, please do not, don't take these hormones this way, because I don't think it's going to be beneficial for her body, because I already knew that her body was pitta kapha, and I don't know how it's going to affect that. Anyway, a year and a half, 2 years after that, they found cancer in her breast. So she has to go through all that. And then guess what? What were doing? They were blocking estrogen in her body, because now she was doing all these things instead of going through the beautiful menopause that I had. I'm not gonna be honest, it wasn't just like easy, like I'm just gonna put a cream and then I'm just gonna feel as great as when you put the cream and you continue your life normally. Yes, I have to take the herbs, and yes, I have to change my diet. But once I did that and I changed my diet, and yes, I gained some weight, but then I just learned that, because before I could eat anything and I will not gain weight. As soon as I got to menopause, even if you drink water, you gain weight. So when I went through that and I learned the herbs and I learned the exercises and I learned that I needed to eat a little bit different, and I went through that, and then now I went through menopause and everything is just becoming normal. I'm so glad I did that and then took care of through the herbs too, because one of the things that worries when you don't take the estrogen or the estradiol is that your bone density is going to change while you are in menopause, and that's one of the things that a lot of women or a lot of doctors says you have to be careful with because of that. You can do that with natural medicine. You can do that in a way that you're not going to hurt your body, because hormones are so delicate. Hormones are something that they know the body is so incredible that it takes what you need. And there is so many organs in the body that affects your hormones. The pituitary gland, the thyroid gland, the thymus, all of them are connected and they are going to know exactly what you need when you need it. It's, for example, when the body needs T3 or T4, and it's really incredible how the T4 just collects what you need, and then when the cell needs it, it gives it to it. So I don't think that you can actually really know exactly what the body needs in this way, because you can just put the same amount or more, because it's like cream, you do one click and then you don't know. So how is all these things really affecting other organs and other parts of the body in a different way? So, like for example, I have a very dear friend that she uses. We went to menopause kind of at the same time, and it's really amazing to see for me that I already went through all the changes. Have I didn't have that many hot flashes because also the way I eat. It's a lot of very clean food, mung beans, rice, vegetables, and I was very, very careful of any fire food that I would put, because that's what it actually makes the hot flashes come. It's really amazing to see how the minute that she stops using the cream, that she left it, she came to my house, and then she didn't have the cream, the hot flashes started. But that was an incredible thing for me, and I guess nature supported me in the learning on what happens is what happens instead of she going through the changes that the body naturally needs to go, she keeps going. And then now is she, my question is she ever going to be through menopause, or she's going to have to do that for the rest of her life? And how good is to put hormones in the life like that? The body's not made for that.
So you were kind of saying that you took a different approach with herbs and you changed your diet. And obviously this is not prescriptive, so we're not telling anybody to go run out and take those specific things. But could you share maybe a little bit more about what you did specifically? So if somebody wants to ask their practitioner about those things, that they could learn more about that.
There is certain herbs that I took that it really helped with that. One of them is called shatavari. What he calls it, the other name of it is 100 husbands. And then the other one is vidari cant, and the other one marshmallow root. So the combination of these, and then some herbs that are gonna be like sariva and antamol, that is gonna help you with kind of cooling down, and then ashoka, that is gonna help with all the reproductive changes, and then doing a combination. But obviously it has to be someone that knows what he's doing. I'm just mentioning the herbs. Don't go and buy this and put it together, please. No, it has to be like done in certain amounts and be depends on where you are and what is happening with you. There is some formulas in there that already are in the market that people can just take them and see if they work, and then probably they will work. They are really amazing. But the one thing that I would say that is very, very important is to change your diet. So once you start menopause, do not like I will say, even when you turn 45, 46, that you get another big change in your period and you feel that it's going to be strong, or most women get a big change during that time. At that point, for me, was the time that you start changing, because the body is already starting to change, to completely change your diet. If you were drinking wine with your husband every night, if you were going to drink alcohol, for example, during the weekends, if you eat a lot of tomatoes, potatoes, eggplant, bell peppers, spicy food, sour food, all that is going to create more heat in your body. So this is like if you have a big fire and then I put a little bit of wine, what happens? Or alcohol, it flares up. And that's basically will be like what a hot flash it is. Yeah. It's like your body completely starts getting completely heated, your face heated, and you start sweating and you've never felt this before. So when you change all these foods and then you stop eating that and eating more things that are cooling, then all these changes start to happen and you don't even feel them. But let's say you go like, okay, I feel great, and then you go and drink wine, for sure the next you're going to feel it. Because I have women that they had to have clothes in their car or pairs to change, because it's incredible. But if you bring that heat down, you don't need to do that. You can go through this, and then you balance it with the food and then the herbs. So because then I remember at the beginning, I was like, before I would just go to sleep and wake up in the morning and I would say that now during menopause, no, that is not happening. You're just waking up 2 or 3 times, or sometimes even not being able to go back to sleep, and all those changes. So then you add a little bit of shatavari to that. You add a little bit of ashwagandha because your nervous system. You add a little bit of marshmallow root. You add a little bit of darican, and then you add all that, and then you just put it, and then you start sleeping. And it's just simple just to go through that to that change, and don't have to continue putting things in your body that maybe later in life they are not going to be that great.
And I'm so curious. I know just from our conversation, Ayurveda is tied to so many different rituals, whether it's like taking the foods or the herbs, or you mentioned early on, like yoga, that's one aspect of it. Are there certain rituals that you stick to no matter what, whether it's like certain things you do in the morning, evening? I'd be curious to kind of understand that.
Well, I learned TM in October 28, 1988. So I've been doing TM since then. And then I did the more advanced program, which is the city. So every morning, and my husband also does that because I might met him at the TM center when I came. So it's something that we share. And I did it while I was pregnant. I did it with my kids, and my kids still do it.
Oh, I
So
love
they
it.
still meditate. Now they are 31 and 29, and they both practice. And when they are like, my daughter, one time she went to Princeton, and she called me. I'm like, Mom, I feel like and then she was like, "Ugh." And I said, did you meditate? I said, no. I said, go meditate and come back and call me back. She went, meditated, and called me back until like, oh, you're right. So just going on meditation. So that was one of the routines that I do every day. I meditate an hour in the morning and an hour in the afternoon, no matter what. That's one of the routines that I do. The physical routines that I do is I scrape my tongue every morning. Then I meditate. Sometimes I do some yoga, do certain, and that's another thing that I play a lot. It's like what are my chakras. So then I concentrate more of the exercises that I'm going to do. Like I needed to concentrate more on my chakra root. The root, I was like not really one of the things that it was happening during menopause. So I needed to put more attention to that. So I did a lot of hip opening, the cervix opening. So I did a lot of that, lot of the exercises to bring the energy up. So I do the yoga, I do that, and then my breakfast. Sometimes I go up. I live in Mandeville Canyon, so fortunately, a lot of it is burned now, but it's so beautiful to see all these new plants that are growing. So I go walk there and get a lot of plants and use them here for the clients for the treatments. So that's really fun. So I do that. And then at night at 5 o'clock again, 5, 6 o'clock in the afternoon, I will meditate every day. Try to have a very simple dinner, not have my main meal at lunchtime, and very simple dinner. So that way, it is another thing that I learned in menopause, that if you have a very more simpler than it was before, I sleep so much better. But if I eat a little bit more or I go to a dinner, then my sleep gets interrupted because it's the way your metabolism changes. It's not going to help with that.
I'm curious too, the stage of life that I'm in right now is I'm in my postpartum period. This is my second child, and I'm older. I'm 38 now, and I feel like I've been almost, things have changed very quickly in this postpartum period. So, how does Ayurveda treat that period of time when a woman has just had a baby to help her recover? I'm asking selfishly.
I am so happy that you're asking me that. I didn't think about that before of the changes also when you have a baby. So Ayurveda has a beautiful program called Mother Baby. After you have the baby, it is so important. Those 40 days are magical, and they are very, very important to take care of yourself. So Ayurveda, for example, recommends, and now a lot of people know about this, but when I started, not many people knew about binding your stomach, because after you have this big stomach here, and then from one day to another one, all that's gone. The baby's gone. Now have all this space. So it's very, very important to bind yourself, so that way your organs and everything goes back and gets tight again. Going up and down the steps, that is something that when I go and do Mother Baby, I ask the moms to please don't do it. Going up and down the steps. So every time you go up and down the steps, all your lower organs or your bladder, all that, if it's not tight, it can get you problems in your when you get to menopause. So a lot of people later in life, they get bladder problems and the incontinence problem that comes from not taking care of after the birth. So what we do, what Ayurveda does, is we go to the mom's house and we cook for them. So we cook mainly mung beans, rice, vegetables, soups. um, we do a lot of things that is going to have a little bit more calcium, and the massages, all the treatments, what they're going to do, because after the baby is born, or before just when the baby is going to be born, the vata in the body gets aggravated. It needs to be aggravated to push that baby through the vagina to come out. Yeah. So all that aggravation now needs to be calmed down, and now the hormones are all over the place to come back to what it was before. So when we go to the mom's house, the idea is to do it for 40 days. Most people cannot afford it or do 40 days. But we ask the mom and the baby to not go out the house, stay in, because the nervous system of the baby and the light and all the influence of the world is better to do it in a slowly way to the baby. Yeah. To not drink anything cold, have everything cooked, bring the warmness again, because it's the coldness, the vata, the movement. So you do everything cooked again. And with the massages that we have these different oils, and then we look at your breast. So if you're going to get a mastitis before that, then we do compresses with ginger, and then we help to move whatever is congested in the breast. And then you go through that beautiful period, and then being taken care of, because giving birth is not just I give a birth and all the things that's happening, the changes of your body. You need someone to help you and be there with you, because it's just not just like that and I'm just going to go and work. And that's why, which people, I don't think they do really take it, is you get, when you work for a company, they give you maternity leave. Why is that maternity leave? Because you need the time to be able to come back and your body to be back again, not to keep doing things and going out and going hiking or going. You need to be home. And those 40 days, if you stay home and balance your vata, it's going to be completely different if you want to get pregnant again. And then when you get older, menopause, all these things are not going to happen. So balancing your hormones after that, it will be, how old is your baby now?
7 months.
Oh, okay. We went through already through all that.
Yeah. I didn't handle it that way, but it's good to know for anybody else who's listening.
I'm taking notes.
Yes.
I did it with both of my kids. I did the 40 days with both of them. And even for them and for myself, it was like really, really amazing. Because going through all the hormone changes after, and you probably know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
The depression and the feeling like what's happening to my body after having a baby. The baby blues, what they call the baby blues, is really intense. So when you are supported again from the herbs and the food, this is going to be is so much easier and rejuvenates the body in a way that it can be doing this all over again.
That is super interesting, kind of thinking about postpartum. I'm curious to also get your thoughts on if someone's dealing with painful periods. I'm sure you see a lot of women, all stages, whether they're teenagers or in perimenopause or, in reproductive years, it can hit us in so many ways. So would love to get your thoughts around just bad periods.
That is such a beautiful question, because a lot of teenagers, and not even teenagers, I would say between 15 and 25, 30, that have a lot of women, they get cramps. And that is food. What are you putting? What are you eating? The coffee that you drink in the morning, the chocolate, the food. So if you are careful on the like how you process the carbs, how does it affect the pancreas? Because my daughter used to get really, really bad cramps. It sometimes they just don't listen. And then she started listening to me, and then she was like, "Oh, mom, I didn't have any cramps this time. Oh, mom, this was so much easier." I gave her some herbs, and then she takes them. And because sometimes, if like in your house, someone that knows something and tells you what to do, sometimes you don't just don't listen. Even though that she's pretty good. My daughter is amazing in how listening to me to all the things, but sometimes she forgets or don't take the herbs. And but when she does it, she goes, "Oh yeah, this works really well." So I created something called Johnny Balance to balance your Johnny and for the cramps. And then you put a little bit of that. I've done it with my daughter and other of the girls that work here, and they have cramps. And then you put a little bit on your ovaries. That immediately it helps, and it helps with the cramps. But that is a remedy that works, but also is a diet. So like really making sure that, especially after the second week after your period, after your period finish, and then you start the second part of your period, that point just taking all the gluten, taking all the alcohol, all the sugar, that's gonna make your period so much easier.
I know we're kind of running up on time, but I want anybody who's interested in your work and what you do at Surya to be able to learn more about it. So can you share what you've built at Surya, and if anybody's interested, what should they do?
If you want to come and do a consultation, just whether you have cramps or your skin, or it doesn't really matter, whatever it is, because it's whatever the way I see it, and the way Ayurveda sees it is through the pulse. So we take the pulse and see what is in balance. And at that point, I tell you, oh, you're not sleeping well. Oh, you're having some problems with your period. Oh, you're having some fibroids. Oh, you're having some cysts, or whatever is the situation that I can see that is. So you should change your body, you should change your diet, you should eat these things, but maybe your body at this point is very needs to have some cleanse. So let's do a detox. So then that's when they come and do the panchakarma. So the panchakarma, we have all these different treatments that are so beautiful, and they are all made just for you. So I make the oils, and the oils are incredible amount of work to make. So like first there's an infusion of cold water and the herbs. So there's not as the shock. And then after we do that, and this is we're talking about pots, there are like 5 gallons of oils or 10 gallons of oils that we make at once. And so it takes a week or a week and a half to make just one pot. And then after that, we do a hot infusion, and then we put the oils, and then we infuse the oils. And sometimes we do it with different kinds of milks, and then we infuse the milks into the oils. And those are the oils that are going to be used in your body. Depends on whatever we're going to use. Or I make a specific formula where it's specific for you, and then we do that. Then after that's done, then we do the abhyanga, which is that's something that you get every day, the 4 hand massage synchronized, and it just really takes all the stress that is in your body. Then there's all the different treatments like usadanam, which is like a scrub with different powders and herbs, and depends on what I'm doing. If I'm losing weight, if I'm moving a lot of ama and toxins out of the body, so it's going to be things that are more energetic, more activating, more heating. And then we do the nasya, which is a massage in your head, neck, and shoulders to open all the channels of the respiratory system. And then, let's say, for example, right now I'm having someone that's having really, really incredible problems with the skin. So I'm doing a lot of washes with different herbs and after the abhyanga. So we do that. And then I have people that can have problems with sleeping. So then we're going to do a lot of things, what is in the head and calming all the marma points and all. I'm doing a lot of shirgaras, doing it very, very slow to calm down the center. And then we do all the enemas. So then we have all the different enemas to be able to move all the toxins out. Before you do panchakarma, then you have to prepare yourself and do some preparation. I do different herbal preparations, depends on what it is, or some ghee with herbs that you take before that to prepare the body to move the toxins, move them out to the GI tract, and then you come and do the treatments. During all this time, you're eating a very simple diet: mung beans, rice, vegetables, everything cooked, cooked fruit, cereals in the morning. And when you change your diet and just do that, your body is just really amazing. And I just came back. We have a little center in Ohio. So I just came back from doing 10 days to this gentleman that can have anything in his life. He can just do whatever he wants, go wherever. So he went and did 1 week of Panchakarma with me in Ohio. And it was so beautiful. And he says, after he did all this, he went, it just was so incredible. My life was just changed in 7 days because the way she was feeling after. And then he actually said, I lost 10 pounds. I feel so strength. I feel so clear. I feel so incredible to just continue my life after we changed a lot of the things that he was doing for his diet. So, but for example, if you know I cannot afford to do panchakarma, or just to want to come and do a treatment, or give someone a treatment, or give a mom that is about to have a baby the mother baby program. So all that is here for everyone. And the food, we prepare the mung beans, the rice, the vegetables every day. And if you want to come and eat here, you just have to call and say, can I just go? And then you just pay $19, something like that. And then you come and eat this amazing food that's going to be incredible for you.
I love it. I'm a big fan. I've been to the spa. It's incredible. Love your food. So anyone in LA, definitely check it out. And one last question we can end on. If someone's listening in on this podcast, they're like, oh, I'm really intrigued with Ayurveda, but it might sound overwhelming or like it's too much. What is one piece of advice you would leave with this person if that's what they're thinking?
Wow, that's a fascinating question. Because for me, Ayurveda is not too much.
Yeah.
For me, it's
Maybe that's the answer. It's so simple. Maybe we need to simplify.
It is.
That could be the answer.
It is more simple. It looks very complicated, but that's why I wanted. That's why one of the ways that I did the calming, energizing, or cooling. So if you understand that and what your body is, that's very simple. Yeah. I feel cold, I get a sweater. I feel hot, take out the sweater. Yeah, I feel sluggish, I'm just gonna do something that's gonna give me some energy. So what I would say to people, it is maybe what you're doing is more complicated, and then maybe if you try the Ayurveda way, where you really learn your body and see how you're feeling, then it's going to be more simple.
I love it. Well, Martha, thank you so much for joining us. This was such a blast chatting with you today.
No, you're welcome. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to be in your podcast.
Thank you.